join with me now in welcoming our next speaker, Lizzy Funk. Lizzy is a senior marketing specialist on the demand generation team at Marketo. She manages the development, execution, and analysis of multi-channel marketing campaigns for the B2C segment. Prior to Marketo, Lizzy spent time doing molecular biology research, including in vitro and in vivo studies. Thanks, Lizzy, for joining us, and welcome to the Sales Acceleration Summit.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me today to talk about how to prove your marketing ROI, complicated marketing analytics made easy. A little bit about me to get started. I'm on the demand generation team here at Marketo. I plan, execute, and analyze SMB programs for the B2C segment. This includes running cross-channel programs such as emails, social programs, website personalization, webinars, and much, much more. I'm also responsible for running paid programs to help fill our funnel. Also, a little bit of fun things. I have a background in molecular biology. I can clone and run immunohistochemistry tests. I really love Excel, and I hate boats because I get super seasick. But now, on to the good stuff. So, who is Marketo? Marketo is an engagement marketing platform built by marketers, helping marketers just like you succeed in this new era of marketing. Marketo is helping marketers engage with their audience with one-on-one, personalized, and continuous conversations across all channels, including mobile, web, email, and social. Marketo also provides advanced analytics that will help you maximize your ROI on your programs and amplify the impact of your marketing and revenue generation. So let's get started. I hear all the time from marketers that proving marketing's contribution to sales seems near to impossible. This is a problem for when you're asked to prove your budget and fight for the programs you want to run. If you can't prove your programs that are bringing in revenue, it's really difficult to make the case to your boss to ask for a bigger budget or a bigger team. So that is why we're here. We want to figure out how to do this, and I hope I can give you some insight into this. So here's a crazy stat. It's from this year, saying that only 32% of marketers pursue a data-first strategy, and less than half of all marketers feel prepared for a data-driven future. Data is available. It's for you. It's here now. It's up to you as a marketer to figure out how to use it. I do believe that as marketers, you need to be extremely data-driven to be successful. The fact that only a third of us are pursuing this type of strategy, that's going to need to change. Here's another interesting stat. Almost half of all marketing leaders say that tracking and measuring campaigns is a top challenge. This part doesn't have to be hard. It really doesn't. But it's 100% necessary to do in order to prove your marketing ROI. So if you're part of the task that is having trouble tracking your programs and campaigns, let's see if we can fix that. And finally, proving impact. Only a quarter of marketers can prove their impact on the business. If I were to ask a group of marketers, if I gave you $10,000, what would that turn into? And only a quarter of all marketers or people are going to be able to answer that, that's an issue. If you are not able to show your boss what the money they are giving you turns into, they're not going to be giving you any more money. They're not going to be growing your team. So let's see if we can change that today and start accurately tracking all of our programs and really start proving the impact the marketing team has on revenue. I bet after doing this, you're going to be surprised by how influential marketing is on revenue. First, I'm going to go over 3 quick tips to analytics success. This is a great place to start and make sure you're setting yourself up for success to starting and proving your marketing ROI. I'll get into these a little deeper. The first one is determine which metrics are important to your business. Next, I'll go into set your goals ahead of time and make sure you hit them. And finally, make your programs trackable. The first tip, determine which metrics are important for your business. This is to make sure that everyone in your organization is on the same page when it comes to metrics. You need to determine which metrics are important for your business. This varies between industries. It could be revenue. It could be targets or filling the funnel. It could be subscriptions. It could be customer lifetime value. So you need to all be on the same page, whether in sales, marketing, IT even, you need to establish company-wide metrics and decide what is most important. The other side of this is having the same definition for these metrics. Is everyone on the same page with these definitions that you track? Does sales and marketing have the same definition for MQLs or SQLs or opportunities? How do you define success? Here at Marketo, just registering for a webinar is not a success, but attending is. We track the number of direct engagements with us, but you have to make sure you're defining this ahead of time. And finally, the timeline. What metrics are you expecting to see right away? What metrics are you expecting to see in a few months from now? For a lot of larger purchases, revenue is not going to be generated right away. So you must look at successes at different time points. Did I get the number of new names that was added to the database at the very beginning of the program? And then a few months later, once the sales cycle has gotten a little bit further down the line, how much revenue am I getting from these programs? Next is set your goals ahead of time and make sure you hit them. Something a lot of people forget is to have a hypothesis. You have to have a hypothesis to make sure that once your program runs, you know if it was a success. Also, once you have a hypothesis, you can run your program to make sure you're going to hit your goals. Two metrics you might want to steer clear from when presenting findings to the C-level are vanity metrics and cost metrics. The vanity metrics are metrics that make you feel good, like Facebook likes or Twitter followers, but it doesn't mean much. So if you get 100 new Facebook likes from a program, what does that really mean? What does that mean for your ROI? And for cost metrics, your boss doesn't want to hear about what you're spending. They want to hear about how much you're generating, how much revenue is coming from that cost. So stay away from saying, we spent this much this quarter, or we have this much cost per lead. Make sure you're talking about how much revenue you're generating. We generated 5 times the amount of money that we spent. That's a great thing to have. Finally, make your programs trackable. Set yourself up for success. For a webinar, track who is registering, who is attending, who interacted later, even if they didn't attend, to track success in the beginning. But it doesn't stop there. You need to be tracking revenue as well. How much pipeline was generated off of each program? Did it generate any revenue? If not, why? And if so, how can we do more programs similar to this to help hit our revenue goals? Marketing automation can really help you track these, and it makes it pretty easy. For paid programs, you can track the amount of pipeline generated compared to how much you're spending. You can make sure that you're getting more out of the program than what you're spending. But the tricky part, how do we do this? It all sounds great, but in reality, it actually seems pretty hard. It doesn't have to be. Here are 5 metrics that I think are really important to be tracking, and this will really set you up for success. This is what we do at Marketo, and it works really, really well for us. It might be different for your other businesses, but if you're tracking the right metrics, the analysis part will be so easy. The first one is lead source. This, to Marketo, is tracking the channel in which a lead enters our database. So this could be PPC or social or sponsored emails or even the website. For example, if I'm a new person to the company and I'm doing a Google search on marketing automation, I see a Marketo ad, I click on it, I fill out a form, and I get some more information. My lead source is PPC. PPC brought me in. Acquisition program. This is similar to lead source, but it is the specific program that brought that lead into the database. Again, on that PPC example, if I clicked on that in marketing automation, then maybe my program is going to be marketing automation in North America. The lead source tracks a channel, and acquisition program tracks the program within that channel. It's really important to track both of these. Next is success. This measures the engagement within each channel or program. We classify successes here at Marketo as direct engagement with someone. We don't really care about how many registrants we get per webinar, but we care about how many people attended and listened to our content. That's a success for us. And it changes for each channel. For events, people that register for a trade show or even attend a trade show, they might not be a success. But if they come to our booth and we talk to them, then there is success. It's really important to track these so you can see how many of your leads are directly engaged with you. Cost. You want to constantly track costs. You really need to know how much you're spending and how much each program is costing you. And finally, revenue. This includes pipeline, opportunities, all of the above. But you really need to track revenue, and so you can see which programs and which channels are bringing in the most revenue, pipeline, and opportunities for your business. So once you figure out how you're tracking the right metrics, what can you do with that information? You can start doing an overall channel and program analysis. Evaluate your programs against metrics that matter. How much are you spending on getting new names into your database? What's your goal? For us, we have two different metrics that we track. We track new names and targets. Targets are more qualified people. They're the people that are more likely to buy our product. New names are just any new person to our database. Next is lead source. We talked about this earlier, but tracking which sources are bringing in new names. This is a great way to track these sources are marketing brought in and these sources are sales. Then you can go back and say, marketing brought in 80% of the leads this month. Sales brought in 20%. Amount of pipeline generated compared to the spend. How much are you spending versus how much are you generating? You obviously want that generation number to be a lot higher than how much you're spending. And of course, the number of opportunities created. This is a really important metric for sales to see how is marketing doing. The leads that they're bringing in, how are they qualified or not? This is all stuff that you need to track. And with those 5 metrics, this is stuff you can easily track. But it doesn't stop there. You need to look at programs at different time points. Right when you run a program, look at it immediately. Did it have the response that I expected from the hypothesis that I generated? If I expected X amount of new names, did I get those X amount of names? If not, what went wrong? How can I optimize that? How can I fix it? A few months later down the line, depending on your sales cycle, are you seeing opportunities from the sales team being generated? Are you seeing pipeline being generated, even revenue? If not, what's wrong? Maybe meet with the sales team and see, were these leads not qualified? Were they not the right industry? Try and figure out which programs are performing. And then continuously reassess. How is your program doing over time? If it was really performing and tons of ops in the beginning, but it started to deteriorate, what's going on? Are you launching programs that maybe need some new updated content? Keep always analyzing all of your programs and channels. If you're doing all this, you guys will be golden. A few takeaways to remember before we leave today. Agree on definitions and set up goals up front with your C-level and across the entire organization. Make sure you know what an MQL is and a SQL is. Make sure the sales team, when you go and talk about that, they have the right one. Set your programs up to track the right metrics. This is so important. If you're setting your programs up to track the right metrics, the analysis part is so much easier. Track your programs at different time points. At the beginning, did it have the results that I expected with my hypothesis? A little later, is it generating the revenue I expected? And even after that, is it continuously generating the amount of leads that I thought it would? Another takeaway, use the programs that you're already running to predict performance of future programs. You have that data, use it to be able to prove to your boss as to what's going to come if you're going to give me X amount of money. And remember, nobody's perfect. So progress, not perfection. Really important. Thank you everyone for joining. I hope you learned more information on marketing metrics. Feel free to reach out if you have any further questions.